From innovation spark to global acclaim, CETQAP ignites Pakistan's name. With QQ1 our quantum dream came true, leading the charge with a vision so new. Let the world see, let the light shine, Pakistan's quantum story divine. International year of quantum unites, together we soar to greater heights. Pakistan leads in the quantum age, making its mark on the global stage. With CETQAP strength, the future is bright, guiding the world with knowledge and light. From dreams of tomorrow to actions today, CETQAP lights the quantum way, CETQAP pulls the quantum way, aligned with the world in every stride. Pakistan stands with the quantum tide. Let the world see, let the light shine, Pakistan's quantum story divine. International year of quantum unites, together we soar to greater heights. From dreams of tomorrow to actions today, CETQAP lights the quantum way, aligned with the world in every stride. Pakistan stands with the quantum tide. Let the world see, let the light shine, Pakistan's quantum story divine. International year of quantum unites, together we soar to greater heights. With courage and vision we've built our name, in the quantum world we've claimed our fame. Together with the world we lead the way, shaping the future of quantum today. Let the world see, let the light shine, Pakistan's quantum story divine. International year of quantum we stand tall, leading with purpose, inspiring all. Quantum dreams, a future defined, Pakistan's journey, a legacy enshrined. With CETQAP's vision and global embrace, together we shape the quantum space. Name. With QQ1 our quantum dream came true, leading the charge with a vision so new. Let the world see, let the world see, let the light shine, Pakistan's quantum story divine. International year of quantum unite.
100 years ago, a small group of physicists stood at the edge of the unknown. They debated, they doubted, and they pushed each other forward. While their names are legendary now, At the time, they were explorers navigating mysteries we didn't yet fully understand. I remember reading about this era and these scientists and wondering, what must it have felt like to be in their shoes? What must it have felt like to be actively redefining what we thought we knew about our reality? For years, I have dreamed of being a part of something just as important. I wanted to be able to contribute to an industry that would have impact for decades and centuries to come. Now we all have that very unique opportunity. This is the International Year of Quantum Science and Technology. And I want to reiterate that. I want to make it clear that this is more than a title. It is more than an arbitrary designation. It transcends PR and marketing. It's about opportunity, a collective opportunity for us all to take advantage of this platform. When we think about quantum technology, we should think about all aspects of it. So we have quantum computation, quantum sensing, secure communication, quantum simulation. These are all technologies that, regardless of where they are in development, current state, they have the potential to impact fields such as medicine and material science. This is a lasting impact. These could define the next era for our generations. What's really important about this is it's going to take an entire community. And so when we think about the scientists that have come before and the discoveries that have come before, we need to recognize that they did it together. So Niels Bohr and Einstein famously and fervently debated. Feynman and Dirac made their contributions because they could stand on the shoulders of those that came before them. It's important that we come together as a community and work together to advance the state of the technology. It's important to recognize that when we speak of this togetherness, I don't just mean the quantum physicists, though we do need those in spades. I also mean the electric engineers, the policymakers, those who understand the art of business and commercialization. We need scientific communicators, advocates, and very curious minds. If you fit into any of those categories, or if you're even slightly on the edge of those categories, there is space for you here and you are needed. This is very much a call to action. We have 1 year to make a tangible impact with the support of internationally recognized organizations. And what I'd really like to see out of this year is to go beyond words. Now, I am a journalist and I am a writer, and I love words very much. They're very near and dear to my heart. But this is the year for action. Advancement lives in a world of action. In order to have momentum, we need force. So that being said, how do we take those next steps? We're celebrating the International Year of Quantum. This is an opening ceremony. It's exciting. But when we leave here, what do we do? First and foremost, we advocate. We need to ensure that education, knowledge sharing, open access to science, and similar initiatives remain center. Those are very essential to doing what we need to do. We need to build. To build, we need to form collaborations and partnerships that transcend borders, fields, and industries. This will take everyone. And ultimately, we commit. We commit to bold action, regardless of fear, of hesitation, of doubt. When it comes to scientific revolution and scientific discovery, we can never be sure of what we don't know. But in the spirit of science, we have to lean into curiosity, and we have to understand that no matter what we do, no matter what your vision is, I hope that you pursue it and understand that the outcome, the results rather, whether it's success and positive, or if it's failure and feels negative, you have learned something. We have learned something. So regardless of what developments come out of this year, whether they are what we hope them to be, or whether they are slightly less or rather much less than what we hope them to be, the importance is that we have done work, we have learned, and we can apply those new things, that knowledge, to go forward and continue to advocate for this technology. So welcome to the International Year of Quantum Science and Technology. It is an absolute pleasure to have the opportunity to speak to you, albeit virtually. And I look forward to seeing all that you do on the other side of this year. Thank you.
Let the world see, let the light shine. Pakistan's quantum story divine. International Year of Quantum Unite.
Hello everyone, it's an honor to be here at the IYQ 2025 Pakistan, an event that embodies the spirit of innovation in quantum science and technology. My name is Dr. Jonas Kölzer and I'm one of the co-founders of the Polaris School of Quantum, a groundbreaking initiative designed to make quantum education accessible to learners worldwide regardless of their background or location. Quantum technology is transforming industries from healthcare and material science to finance and design. But there is one major challenge. Quantum expertise is concentrated in a few elite institutions, leaving a gap in access and opportunity for most of the world. We at the Polaris School of Quantum are here to change that. Quantum technology is growing at an unprecedented speed, but there is a global shortage of trained professionals. Traditional universities require specific backgrounds, often don't focus on real-world applications, and are not ideal for lifelong learning. At the same time, many industries and startups struggle to find the talent they need. Governments and companies are investing billions in quantum research, yet there aren't enough skilled professionals to turn theory into practice. What if we could create a scalable, community-driven learning model that brings quantum knowledge to everyone? Students, professionals and entrepreneurs, no matter where they are. That's exactly what we are building with the Polaris School of Quantum. It's an open, project-based and collaborative learning platform where learners don't just watch videos, they engage in hands-on, real-world quantum projects. Here's what makes it unique. First, global access and free content, high quality educational materials accessible to everyone. Second, project-based learning. Participants apply quantum principles to real-world challenges in computing, sensing, and communication. Third, industry connections, partnerships with startup, research institutions, and industrial leaders to bridge the gap between academia and the job market. Fourth, gamification and incentives, what we call the quark system. Learners earn quarks, our digital tokens, by contributing knowledge, collaborating on projects, and even purchasing merchandise that supports community learning. For every quark bought, one is donated to a learner in need, democratizing access to quantum education. We are leveraging state-of-the-art generative AI to produce engaging, interactive learning content, just like the video we are presenting here today. Pakistan has a young, talented and ambitious workforce, which is you, that can play a major role in the global quantum revolution. However, access to high-quality quantum education is still limited. Imagine if the next big breakthrough in a quantum AI or cryptography comes from a student in Lahore, Karachi or Islamabad. But only if we have the right knowledge and resources. By making quantum education freely accessible and connecting learners with real-world industry applications, the Polaris School of Quantum can help Pakistan become a key player in the global quantum economy. Pakistan's Vision 2025 of quantum highlights the need for skilled development and innovation. We are here to support that vision. We believe the quantum revolution should be for everyone, not just for selected. But to make that happen, we need you to be part of it. If you are a student, researcher, professional, interested in quantum computing, sensing or communication, sign up today to stay informed about our upcoming programs, projects and opportunities. Visit polaris.one to join the Polaris School of Quantum community. Follow us on social media to get the latest updates on courses, workshops and industry connections. Be part of the global movement democratizing quantum education. The future of quantum starts with education. The future of education starts with you. Let's build the future of quantum together. Thank you.
Let the world see, let the light shine. Pakistan's quantum story divine. International Year of Quantum Unites.
Hello everyone, I'm Batuhan Hangün. Today I'm going to give you a short presentation about simulation tools in quantum computing. But first, I'd like to thank Professor Ahmed for giving me such opportunity to be with you in here today. So, if I'd like to talk about myself a little bit, I have a master's degree in electrical engineering. I'm focused on machine learning, AI, mostly in the fields of image processing, computer vision. And recently, I'm in the field of quantum computing, focused on quantum machine learning. This is the content of today's presentation. We'll have a little introduction to the terms and to the quantum computing, and then we'll talk about simulation in quantum computing and some common tools that we can use for simulating quantum algorithms. And then we'll talk about advantages and limitations of quantum computing simulations. And finally, after giving a brief summary of today's talk, we'll end this presentation. At first, it's good to talk about the current state of quantum computers. But before start to talk about that, maybe we can discuss the term quantum computer, because by today's definition, when we say computer, we talk about input-output ports or interfaces, an operating system that can handle file operations, processes or threads, or execution of programs on the system. And also we provide tools to users like office tools, file editors, or some other tools like image processing for file processing, text processing. So if you look from that perspective, when we say quantum computer, that might be a wrong term to use, because today's quantum computers are just some huge tools, huge hardware that can make computation, but can't provide benefits a classical computer can provide. So maybe it's better to use quantum hardware instead of using quantum computer if we want to define the hardware in a well manner. And if we say quantum hardware, we need to define the type of that quantum hardware, because actually in today's area we can see different types of quantum hardware defined by the technology on the background. Mostly when we say quantum hardware, we'll talk about quantum hardware that use superconductors. So at that research area, IBM Quantum, Google Quantum AI, and Rigetti Computing are the pioneers. Second type of quantum hardware is trapped ions, and at that field, IonQ and Honeywell is leading the field. And finally, a photonic quantum hardware is also one of the hot topic of research recently. It's led by CETQAP and Xanadu. And if we look at the key developments made in the field of quantum computing in recent years, in 2016, IBM introduced cloud-based quantum computing. It was a great achievement to bring quantum computing to common people, because by just using a simple computer, you can access quantum computing resources provided by IBM. In 2018, Google introduced Bristlecone Quantum Processor, or QPU, short for Quantum Processing Unit. It has 72 qubits. And in 2019, Google introduced Seymour QPU with 53 qubits, and it was the thing about quantum supremacy. They claimed that they achieved the quantum supremacy, but that was under discussion at that time. At 2021, IBM introduced Eagle QPU with 127 qubits, and again 2022, again IBM introduced a new QPU named Osprey with 433 qubits. And at 2022, Xanadu introduced a photonic QPU, Borealis. It was also one of the important achievements in the field. And lastly, recently, it was a controversial announcement by Google. Their new Willow QPU is a QPU that can complete an operation under 5 minutes, which can take 25 power of 10 years by try to achieve a supercomputer. But even though quantum computers may provide huge benefits, there are also challenges in quantum computing. At first, today's quantum hardware is faulty hardware due to the nature of material or hardware design. So there is a fault tolerance we need to keep in our minds when we talk about quantum computing. Also, due to the fault introduced in here, we need to provide methods to correct those faults or errors. So error correction is also an important research area in the field of quantum computing. And also, scalability is another problem, because for classical hardware, we can put together several CPUs, several GPUs, or several computers together to create compute clusters or supercomputers. And we have tools to maintain a communication between these clusters. But in quantum computing, scalability is also a challenge we need to defeat. And if you look at the cost of quantum computing, we may talk about hardware cost, operational cost, and cost of cloud access if you don't have your own quantum computer. And for example, IBM System 1 cost $30 to $50 million in terms of hardware. Or generally, operational costs like cooling or maintenance is also a source of high cost in the quantum computing. And as we talked before, if you don't have your own quantum computer, you need to pay for service providers like Amazon Web Services or IBM. It is also a huge cost when you think about the cost per minute or cost per job. And also I'd like to tell that this cost information is from 2024 and earlier, so today some costs might decrease and some costs might be increased, so you need to check to see the latest cost. And actually that costs and challenges will bring us to importance of simulation in quantum computing. Before to talk about simulations in quantum computing, we need to give a brief introduction to classical simulation. As you know, actually simulation is kind of a tool that allows us to copy the system in physical manner and try to see that system in a digital way. So there are different types of simulations like physical simulations, mathematical simulations, numerical simulations, or virtual simulations like flight simulators that armies or flight companies use to educate their pilots. And yeah, there are lots of advantages in simulation. First of all, it is low cost because you don't need to build the actual system. You just need a digital version of it. But be aware, simulation is not exact copy of the physical system. It's some kind of similar to physical system, but not exact copy. So that's why we call it simulation. If we want to make an exact copy of the physical system, then we need to build a digital twin. This is not the topic of today's presentation, but you may want to look at that one too. And second advantage is it is a low risk environment because when you crash an aircraft in simulation, you don't crash it at real life. So there is no life risk, there is no cost risk. It's a safe testing environment. And by using simulation, you can test alternative solutions to your problems. So you can check if one solution is better than another. There are also technical benefits and practical benefits of using simulations. Actually, in quantum computers, we have limited number of qubits since hardware is limited and still under development. For qubit control, we have partially unlimited virtual qubits, so that can allow us to test any algorithm or any scenario we may think of. And its noise-free environment, as we talked before, real quantum hardware introduce noise, but in simulations we are in a noise-free environment. And it allows us rapid prototyping because we can use a classical computer to easily prototype a quantum algorithm. And if we look at the practical benefits, it's cost-effective development because it doesn't require any quantum hardware. It's suitable for education and it has tool for visualization. We can visualize the result of our algorithm or of our design by using visualization tools provided by simulators. And it allows us to make a hardware agnostic test because we talked about different types of quantum computers and they are based on different physics like superconducting qubits, photonics, trapped ions. But when you use a quantum simulator, you don't need to consider that. And also it gives us an interactive environment to trial and error to see our design. So where can we apply simulation tools in quantum computer? First of all, for research and development, we can develop quantum algorithms and test them using simulations. And if we work on error correction study, we can design a system to see it work good or it work bad on the error correction. And also we can make quantum circuit design optimizations using quantum computer simulations. Another benefit is we can use simulation tools in quantum computing for education. Since quantum computing is still a new field and it's still in its infancy. So in the future, we're going to need lots of experts in the field of quantum computing. So we need to educate researchers in this field. So by providing visualization tools, interactive learning approaches, and low-cost experimental studies, simulation tools are great tools that we can educate future researchers in the field of quantum computing. And when we looked at the types of simulations in quantum computing, there are 3 types of simulation approaches: state vector, density matrix, and wave function approach. At first, we'll talk about state vector approach in simulation. Actually, in the state vector, we represent quantum states using a vector by summation of amplitudes, which is equal to 1. We can represent 2 to the power of n dimensional vector, and its computational efficiency is also the same. So if we look at the things from the perspective of complexity, there is 2 to the power of n memory complexity. And for state vectors, we can only represent pure states and amplitude representation. As a result, this is better tool to simulate noise-free systems. And if we look at the density matrix, in this approach, we represent quantum states or quantum operators or a quantum system itself in a matrix. So as a result, this is 2 to the power of n times 2 to the power of n dimensional matrix. As a result, our complexity, memory complexity, will be 4 to the power of n. And by using density matrix approach, we can simulate both pure states and mixed states of quantum computing. So this is actually a realistic simulations, because in here we can model noise and decoherence, which is natural parts of a quantum hardware. So if we want to make realistic simulations, we need to choose density matrix approach. And actually wave function approach is same as the state vector approach. Only difference between is its name, because it's actually easier to understand for physicists, because it uses quantum mechanics terminology. So that's why it's named as wave function approach. And here is a simple summary of the simulation types in quantum computing. As we talked before, state vector and wave function approach is more useful for representing noise-free environments, because it only supports pure states. It's ideal for gate-level simulation of ideal circuits. But as you know, in practice, we don't have error-free ideal quantum hardware. So if we want to simulate realistic hardware, we need to use density matrix approach. It can model noise and mixed states, so it's more useful for error correction and realistic simulations that include decoherence of the quantum systems. And if we look at the simulation tools for quantum computing, today Qiskit is one of the well-known and widely used tools by IBM itself. It's an open source system and used as in Python. You can use Python to develop quantum systems, quantum circuits, and simulate them on your own computer or another classical computer you can use. It has a high performance simulation tool named AER. It has its own primitives to provide state vector simulator for pure states and density matrix simulator for mixed states. And it has advanced features like noise modeling and parallel execution for supported hardware like multi-core CPUs or GPUs. And this is an example code for Qiskit, a simple quantum circuit that applies some quantum gates. But first of all, this is not the latest version of Qiskit. As you know, it's still in development phase, so from time to time they release new versions, so some syntax in here might be changed in future. So this is just a code for a simple demonstration. In here we can define quantum circuits by providing the number of qubits we are going to use, and we can apply quantum gates to the circuit and providing the index or number of the qubit that we targeted. For example, in here we applied an Adamar gate to the qubit 0, and in here we applied a CNOT gate as qubit 0 as a control qubit and qubit 1 as a target qubit. And after making measurement, we get the result and see which state we got. And if we want to run simulations, we again create our quantum circuit. We invoked the simulator and define the simulator backend, and we provided number of shots, which is basically the number of simulation iterations. So we did the simulation for 1000 times and get the result after that. And as you see, after executing the simulator, we get the results, and we can get results in terms of histogram plot or any other plot you may desire. And another tool for IBM is Quantum Circuit Composer. Actually, it's a visual tool, visual design tool, so you can easily design quantum circuits using visual design blocks, and you can visualize your results at the same window. For example, this is the example circuit we talked in here. This is the same circuit. In here we have 2 qubits. We applied an Adamar gate and applied a controlled NOT gate, and then get the results. And as you see, we can drag and drop quantum circuit elements. We can get the measurement results. We can see what is the outcome of our measurement or our outcome of this simulation in terms of computational basis states. So yeah, this is a good tool for simulating small systems for educational purposes. But of course, it's not as useful as Qiskit itself for simulating bigger systems. And another tool is Cirq by Google Quantum AI. It's also provided in Python interface. It allows user-defined gate sets, and it has integration with TensorFlow Quantum. It's actually useful if you want to test your own quantum algorithms. Its core features are it provides circuit optimization and also device-specific constraints. It has capability of the state vector simulator and also density matrix simulator for mixed states. So you can model the noise and the coherence if you want to make more realistic simulations. And this is the code example for the same circuit. We apply Adamar and CNOT gate. And if you look, it's different in terms of syntax. In here, there are different approach. As you see, you need to function from an object to append your circuit. You append your circuit by adding different quantum gates. But at Qiskit, you create your circuit and apply gates on the same object. But in here, you need to call an append function, then you can add gates. It's a matter of choice. You may prefer this approach, or you may prefer this approach, but in the end, they serve the same goal. And again, for a gate, you need to define a target qubit. If it takes more than one input, you need to define all input target qubits. And you run simulator, get the results, and you can see the outcome of the simulation. Actually, all other tools are actually mostly we can call as SDK, library, or a framework maybe. Those are mostly wrappers written by Python, and mostly under the hood they run C or C++ code, or recently they run Rust code. But there's a different tool, actually a programming language we like to talk. It's called as Q#. It's introduced by Microsoft. Different from others, Q# is a domain-specific programming language targeted for quantum computers. It's the part of the .NET ecosystem, so it's focused to provide scalable quantum computing. It's a different tool in terms of that. We can develop Q# algorithms, Q# programs using Visual Studio, Jupyter Notebook, command line interface, or Azure Quantum Integration. As we said before, this is a complete programming language, not an SDK or framework. So it has its own language features like built-in quantum computing components, automatic qubit management, and also built-in simulation features like full state simulator, which consists state vector and density matrix simulators. And also it has resource estimation tools for calculating resource requirements, since we need to deploy our simulations on a system, and that system might be a cloud base. Then when using cloud computing, resource estimation is important because we are going to pay for the resources we use. And also it allows noise modeling, so we can model realistic quantum hardware. And this is an example of Q# code. Again, we are simulating the same circuit. Actually, no, this is a different circuit, but it's an example to demonstrate the capabilities of Q#. Actually, if you are familiar with C# or .NET environment, you can see that actually you're still writing a C# or .NET code, but just using a different libraries targeted quantum computing. We also have namespaces as we have in the C# or .NET. We include our libraries or interfaces, and we define a function named createBellPair. We provide parameters, we define parameters, and in here you see we call object named qubit. So we define our function will take qubit objects as input and give results. In here we also use Hadamard gate and CNOT gate. So we target qubit 1 and we target qubit 1 and qubit 2 for CNOT gate. And after the application of quantum gate, we need to get the results. So we call function named M, an abbreviation for measurement, because in quantum computing, before measurement, we don't know the exact result of the system state. So we make measurements, get the results, and store them in variable named as result 1 and result 2. And finally, we reset the qubits for further use. And you see in Q#, we just make function calls to apply quantum gates or measurement, as opposed to Cirq and Qiskit. We don't call object functions. We call just simple function to make operations on the qubits. And if we look at the advantages and limitations of the simulation tools, first of all, it's a cost-effective testing environment. We can test any realistic quantum hardware or we can test any quantum algorithm we provided. Hypothetically, it provides unlimited number of qubits. Of course, it's unlimited because it's limited by the limitations of the classical hardware we use. But yeah, most of the time, it's easier to simulate systems with hundreds or thousands of qubits because we can represent vectors with elements of numbers in classical computers. And we are in control. We can control any parameters, any noise parameters, and we can define them in our needs. And we can use these simulators for educational purposes to teach about basic concepts of quantum computing and to introduce quantum algorithms. And also we have some disadvantages or limitations. Of course, we are still limited by resources of the classical computers. And also we can't 100% replicate the physical quantum hardware because we are using a digital replication of it. So if we want to explore challenges specific to specific quantum hardware like photonic quantum hardware, superconducting quantum hardware, or trapped ion quantum hardware, simulations might be challenging for copying the system in a digital manner. And of course, our quantum circuits get more complex. It might be harder to represent it in a simulator due to the exponential time increases. For the application considerations of simulation tools, most of the time suitable use cases are small to medium scale quantum circuits. We can use it for algorithm verification. For example, let's say in theory, we provided a near quantum circuit or quantum algorithm to solve a specific problem. Yeah, on paper, that might sound good, but of course we need to verify it by making calculations. So simulation tools gives a chance to do that calculations. And also, if we are working in the field of error correction for quantum computing, we can develop new algorithms for error correction and test them by using quantum computer simulators. So as a recommendation use approaches, we can use it for comparative benchmarking of near quantum algorithms and as for a validation of real quantum systems. So as a summary, for simulating quantum computers or quantum hardware, we have three different approaches: state vector and wave function for representing pure states, and density matrix simulation for representing mixed states, which is our tool for representing real quantum hardware that can introduce noise or quantum decoherence. If you look at the tools by IBM, Google, Microsoft are widely used and most known. There are also, of course, lots of different tools by different companies and research groups, but it's good to learn about most used ones, since I believe they will be still pioneers in the field. So I suggest you to common tools like Qiskit, Cirq, and Q#. instead of diving into less known tools. If we look at the advantages, it can provide us cost-effective testing. We are in full control of the qubits, and it can help us to educate students or researchers in the field of quantum computing. But of course, we have limitations because most of the time we run these simulations on a classical hardware, a classical computer that consists of RAMs, CPUs, and GPUs. So we still limited by hardware, classical hardware, because quantum simulations require exponential resources. And also we can't directly replicate limitations of exact quantum hardware, constraints of the exact quantum hardware. And also we have performance limitations due to the scalability of the quantum algorithms, because in simulations we still use classical hardware. This is not an exact quantum hardware, so this is also another limitations. So yeah, at this presentation we talked about types of simulation approaches we can use for quantum computers, tools that we can use for quantum computing, its advantages and its disadvantages. As a closing speech, actually, we need to use quantum computer simulators. Most of all, the cost of testing a quantum algorithm on a real quantum hardware is high, because we talked about cost to cloud access. As a result, we need to be sure our algorithm is working well, its results are good, then we can test it on a real quantum hardware. So this is why we need to use simulators beforehand. If we are sure of our algorithm gives good results at simulators, then we can try our chance on real hardware. So you can also be able to write your own specific code to design custom simulation scenarios, because Qiskit, Cirq, and Q# provide good tools for us to simulate quantum systems, but you may want to simulate your own custom setting, and that setting probably wasn't implemented in any of these tools. So you must be good at writing code in Python or maybe C++, so you can build your own specific simulation scenarios using simple matrix linear algebra libraries, because under the hood those tools also using linear algebra matrix operation libraries to build the tools you can use. So as a suggestion, you need to be good at writing your own custom code to be good at quantum computing simulations. Thanks for the listening. If you have any questions, or if you like to collaborate on writing research papers together, you can contact me via my email address. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you very much for organizing this event today. Thank you very much.
Let the world see, let the light shine. Pakistan's quantum
Yeah, my name is Chris McGinty. I'm the founder of an AI company called McGinty AI. We are at the intersection of, say, fractal geometry, AI, and advanced materials, quantum physics. So I've developed an equation that I call the McGinty equation that had never existed prior to about 2002. And what it does is it unifies everything from quantum mechanics to through general relativity through the vehicle of fractal geometry. And that allows us to do things like measure the perturbations of the gravity on the quantum field, among other types of things, which allow for some very unique and new technologies that were not available to us before. Quantum computing will unlock entire new paradigms of physics for us. I believe that investors and other people know of its potential. However, we've still had the same type of bottlenecks that we've been seeing for quite a while. Error correction, scalability. We have a big hardware first approach that's gone on for quite some time. And we can, no matter how much we scale, we still have the same problem that qubits are fragile. And that's, I think, the biggest problem that we have right now is getting through that error correction. Once we're able to do that, the superposition of qubits exponentially will allow us to do things with protein folding, things that are impossible with classical computers right now, which will cure many of diseases and make people's lives quite a bit better. Well, I think especially countries in Asia, China, Pakistan, etc., are going to be leaders in that field because of I think, the intelligence that is in that area of the country. There's some of the brightest minds of the world are there, and then the drive to be the best, or to be countries that make an impact on things. So I think that the technology, we hear a lot about America leading the charge and etc. However, we hear that from American media. I think a lot of the technology that may be going on in Asia and other parts of the world may not necessarily be as pronounced, but I do think that that there's certainly some very, very great minds in that area of the world that are working on things that are even more advanced than what they're working on in the US. No, quantum and AI both are words that scare people. People are scared of quantum. It's people are scared of super intelligence. It's natural for us. We're no longer the most intelligent being on this planet, and it's, for a long time, humans, we've destroyed all of our predators. We've destroyed all the things that could potentially make us obsolete, and quantum is one of those things. It's very unknown. They don't teach quantum in curricula in schools, so people don't understand it unless they're self-educated. And it's something that a quantum physicist is considered to be the top genius of all top geniuses because of the complexity of the material. So I do think that the fear and the mongering that goes along with it really are the result of trolls and the media wanting to capitalize on people's fear of the unknown. It's quite clear from those of us in the industry and many academics as well too, that quantum computing and AI are the future. It's the new internet. This is paradigm shifting science that's going on right now, and it's a shift towards in the right direction.
Right. And What do you think about the teleportation, the quantum teleportation that currently we are working on, trying to achieve and go through the black hole? What do you think that could we achieve it within years, or is it very near to achieve it?
No, it could be very near if they use, for example, if we use the McGinty equation and use that to stabilize the wormholes by, uh, I guess it is, I could get into it, it's kind of, but we use that to, using the fractal fields in order to get that stabilized. Now we need quantum computers or wave computers in order to do that. Classical computers won't be able to do that, but we have a very extensive research that's been done into that. Now, part of the other problem with that is that in order to get those wormholes stabilized, it requires a lot of energy. So that energy, what we've determined, rather than fusion or any of those other things, is to actually harness micro black holes. When I talk about micro black holes, we're talking quanta-sized black holes, and we have methods to contain them when they're that level. Again, AI has developed a lot of these things, but the power from the micro black hole will be enough to stabilize talking about a micro wormhole. We're talking quanta-sized, something only that will let an electron through. But once we let that electron through, we've created a binary system, right? And it'll get much more complex than electrons that are going to be able to get through there at some point in time. We'll be able to send energy through the wormholes. So you don't have to send just information. You can send a lot of things through there. And if you can imagine energy being transmitted in that manner, it would be revolutionary in many ways. So I think alongside communication, energy is another big area where that technology is going to come into play. And there are ways to do it without using exotic matter. So part of the reason with wormholes is keeping that throat open. For a long time, they needed some sort of matter, some sort of material that didn't exist at this point in time that had negative mass in order to keep that open. But we are able to, using self-similar structures and fractal scaling, we can do that without exotic matter. And I think that's one of the biggest contributions that my AI system, or McGinty AI, has made so far, is learning how to do that. And the next stages will be experimentation. Micro wormholes would need to be produced in a high collision particle, like somewhere like CERN, and there would need to be a way to capture them. But I do think that humans are very creative. We're incredibly innovative. So I believe that when there's a scientific path that we find that's valid, and we've got the scientific community and the engineering community behind it, we'll achieve what we set out to. I think it's I think it's really interesting. I believe that harmonics plays a huge role in not just in quantum teleportation and entanglement, but throughout the macro world as well too. So once we start looking at harmonics, I think that the QSH could really advance fundamental physics, and it unifies quantum field theory with relativity. So QSH is another vehicle. For example, I'm very focused on the fractal world and the fractal side of things, because the equation that I have unifies there. What you've done is you've focused on the harmonics, and you've done that. You've definitely, this QSH unifies quantum field theory and general relativity through harmonics. So I think the way I look at it is that there's more than one way to get downtown, if that makes sense. And I think that by looking at the numbers of different ways, by looking at how the harmonics work, how the fractals work into the harmonics as well too, there's a number of different things that things go together, right? It's very interdisciplinary. Research is the next phase of things, where we're taking math and physics and engineering and putting them all together for real world advances. And so I think I think this is, I looked at it, and I could, immediately kind of tell what it was doing as far as, how it avoids the violations of causality. So that's, congratulations. It's really, really amazing work, and I'd love to dive into it deeper. I think there's only going to be a few fields that'll remain. There's going to have to be some changes in our social contracts, meaning there's not going to be enough jobs for people, just in general. So I think that most of the entry-level jobs, entry-level positions will disappear. Part of that is not because they're getting rid of them. It's just that AI will be competent enough to do those types of things so that they don't need to hire somebody to be an intern or to be those types of things. Where quantum computing and where AI need humans is healthcare, biotech. Anywhere that has to do with humans and our health, we need humans, we need smart people, we need quantum technology with that area. So healthcare is going to be huge. Energy is going to be massive. We all will need energy. AI needs energy. Everybody needs energy. So clean energy, hydrogen, nuclear fusion. There's some things that we can do in those areas to make them even better than they are. We can optimize solar, wind. We can develop zero-point energy. That's what I've been really focusing on as well too. That's a little bit farther out, but it's possible. So energy, I think, is going to be a massive area for where humans will need to be in control of that area. And then also learn to build AI agent networks. The people that can build networks of AI agents or AI agent swarms are going to be the people that are going to be building the next businesses. Businesses will be built by AI, new businesses, right? We're not going to go out and build a business the way that we used to build a business before AI anymore. It has changed already. So I think for students, what we're seeing is a major shift in what's been considered institutions that have been untouchable for quite a long time because they had the intelligence, they had all the smarts, but now AI has really changed that in some ways, and so it's really putting I think some pressure and responsibility on the academics of this world to lead and to embrace AI and show us what these geniuses in these universities and in these ivory towers that we have, what they can do with AI, because that's I think what the next amazing level is with it is, when the academic world really embraces and adopts AI for what it is. Oh, it's huge, and I think with the UNESCO, that's a great way to kind of build this into something that's going to become part of our heritage. As I said earlier, quantum scares people. Even the word quantum is kind of weird. It's just a strange word in the English language, and you don't use it very much. And so I think that IYQ, all of it is just wonderful in educating the public, educating people, because businesses will not get behind quantum unless they see a tangible benefit from it. And if you have people behind it and the people are adopting it and people are wanting it, then businesses go where the people go. Businesses will create what the people want, right? So if people are scared of quantum and are scared of AI, and there's this fear mongering that's going on in the media, because guess what? They make money by doing that. They make a lot of money by doing that. And the people that are not making money are the people that are, trying to make better things in the world. But that will change as time goes along. I think AI will start to point out where there's inequity, where diversity is not being honored, where people are not being included. All of those things AI is able to see very, very clearly. And I think that at some point in time, quite a bit of the roadblocks and things that have gone on will change, along with the monetary systems of the world have to change too. I mean, eventually everything will move into a quantum blockchain system, and everybody will be on the same money because we can't continue what we've been doing for a long time. We don't have the resources. No single country has the resources to get to the point of wormholes and those other types of things as well. It's the energy required and the effort from humanity in general is going to require a combined effort across the board. So and the rich people are going to try to preserve it as much as they want. So we have to watch out for oligarchies. We have to watch out for a lot of the things that are going on in the U.S. are quite dangerous. Have nothing to do with quantum or AI. They have to do with ego and greed. Well, I think it's a great thing. I think what the message I would give to Pakistan is that this participation and this meeting of the minds here is not only to show the support for the quantum community, but you're not only just talking about quantum here, you're actually shaping it, you're leading it. And I think this is the opportunity for Pakistan, is to be one of the countries that shapes the future of quantum. I would challenge everyone at the IYQ 2025 Pakistan to really think about what other ways can we combine AI and quantum that have never been imagined. Let's really think about that. How can we use AI and quantum together in really new ways? And I think once we start to think about those things and look about those things, and AI is a tool and quantum is a tool, but they're together they can do some marvelous things. And I think that's probably one of the areas where it's wide open. It's greenfield for Pakistan. Yes. Oh, of course. Everything that I've got a YouTube channel that has thousands of videos on it. There's a lot of really great, very detailed information in those videos as well. Just in general, I've been very open. I'm not I'm an entrepreneur. I'm more of a thought leader. I'm not a professor. I'm not a doctor. Those other types of things. I'm really much more of an American visionary that just happened to be smart enough to figure out something that's quite special. So what I'm trying to do is innovation and technological change, shifting of a paradigm does not happen in isolation. We need each other. We need collaboration. We need sharing of ideas. And it's not just AI talking back and forth. Humans control AI, and we always will. It's always going to be that way. And we need to lead the thought and lead what happens with it, rather than having, the profit-driven and capitalism and all those other types of things that get into the way. So I think that's a unique thing that Pakistan has to offer as well.
Let the world see, let the light shine. Pakistan's quantum story divine. International Year of Quantum Unite.
Of course, indeed. And thank you very much, and thank you for having me during your conference. First of all, a couple of words about myself. I'm active more than 30 years in technology. I'm working since 25 years now for the Belgian incumbent telecom operator, and it's through some engagements in innovation at this operator area where we work around post-quantum cryptography and quantum key distribution to secure networks that I started to get inspired myself on quantum technology. So early last year, and that's the story I will share with you, I started up on request of my management community to engage with the Belgian and European society and business around quantum technology. The aim of my presentation is to take you through a story of what we have been through the last 18 months, and hopefully you can learn from that. And of course, you can ask me questions after the presentation. To start, I thought it would be good to give a sort of a European context around quantum. In Europe, the European Commission kicked off a program in 2018 around quantum, where they freed up about 1 billion euro, 1 billion euro, to invest in the research and development of quantum-related technologies. The two main flagship projects or initiatives, if we may call them like that, run around quantum computing and quantum communication. Euro HPC is a project where European centers of high performance compute, and there are 27 in the 27 member states, to extend this infrastructure with quantum computers. So far, we have about 6 or 7, I don't know exactly, installed from different vendors with different technologies. So, and the purpose is that universities, research centers, but also businesses can experiment with all kinds of cloud-based quantum computers. And the second initiative is what we call EuroQCI. It's the European-led initiative to develop a cross-country network around Europe, which should prepare us for what we all know as the quantum internet. And as this initiative, Quantum Flagship, was mainly focused in the beginning on research and development through academics, the industry reacted to that quite quickly and set up quantum industry, the European Quantum Industry Consortium, or better known as QUIC. And today, QUIC and the European Flagship Initiative, they very closely work together. Another thing to mention is the Quantum Internet Alliance as a telecom operator. The company I work for is, of course, a member of that one. Purpose of the KIA is to develop the hardware, the physics necessary to set up a quantum internet, first in Europe, but also around the globe, because there's organizations and companies from everywhere around the globe that are a member of this consortium. And then, of course, there's some country initiatives. France kicked off a community initiative where I learned a lot from in 2019, followed by Germany, the Netherlands, and the Nordics countries. They mainly kicked off 3-4 years ago, Spain and Italy following now. And one to mention, which is not really part of the European Union anymore, is the UK, because England really, they are on the forefront. They have a quantum strategy in place since more than 10 years now. Now, if we come back to Belgium or go deeper into Belgium, what I did is, first of all, and I really think it's important to mention, I interviewed about 180 stakeholders, a lot from universities, research centers, potential end users, government, in the last quarter of 2023. This was an opportunity for me not only to get to know people, but also to get to know a lot about the maturity of quantum in our country. And what I discovered is that quantum, since 20-30 years, was already educated at all universities in Belgium. So that's a positive point. There was a lot of, let's say, theoretical knowledge about quantum science available in the country. On the other hand, large corporations, they are missing. In our country, we have quite some representations from international corporations, very big ones, but with all new technologies, like in this case quantum, these corporations, they will first set up research and development around a new technology in their home country. Like the automobile factories of Germany, they are doing research in Germany, or the pharmaceutical companies from the US, which are very well represented in Belgium, they do this research in the US. Energy companies from France, they do this in France. So that's a thing we have, sort of a gap we have to bridge together. As I mentioned, in the EU, there's the EU that invests a lot, but there's a lot of countries already, about 10 of them. They have their own, what we call, investment strategy. development plan, research and development strategy around quantum, something we don't have yet in Belgium and we will work on. I come back on that later. Also, as you saw on the previous slide, our neighboring countries, they are already 4 or 5 in advance when it comes to ecosystem working and communities, and so we decided to step up as well. If I'm asked about the sense of purpose of our community, I always say that the first thing is to gather stakeholders from different areas, be it academics, research, end users, or potential end users, technology companies, startups or potential startups, and first of all, try to get to know one another better. That's the first aim of what we want or wanted to do beginning of last year. The 3 objectives we set for ourselves since the beginning are the following. And the first one is very important. In our country, as a lot of people don't even know what quantum is about, the first thing we need to do is to engage with the market through seminars, webinars, speaking opportunities at conferences of third parties or other federations, and bring just the message around the possibilities and the opportunities of quantum. And that's what we started to do last year. You will see that in the following slides. A second thing is, once everybody is aware of what you can do with a certain technology for a particular sector, for example, or an industry, then you can think about collaboration. Now we see that projects are kicking off in our community in, for example, the energy sector, the transport and logistics sector, because that's one where we are well represented in as well in our country. And so then you can put potential end users, technology companies, students together to cooperate and co-innovate around projects. And for these kind of things, public funding is available in the country, so that's good news. And then the third thing we started to do immediately is to engage also with our governments. We have a couple of them. We have a federated state in Belgium, so this means we have different regions, and these 3 regions, they independently can decide on innovation funding and so the purpose of that funding. So we need to talk to the federal government and to the different regions to align them not on one single plan, because if in a regional setup country you cannot do that, but to make sure that we have a sort of umbrella plan set up in 2025, and then underneath you can decide on the different focus domains that each region need to take upon depending on the capabilities they have. That might be useful for you is to see what we have done over what period of time. So in the beginning, I mentioned that I did quite some market research. It took me 3 to 4 months, not full time, of course, but it's really a very important step to take, because you would be surprised how much knowledge and capabilities you already have available in your country and how many people that are already willing to help you. The downside of my analysis was that only 10, I would say, organizations, and not all capable in quantum, but enthusiastic about quantum, they were willing to start up this community with me early last year. So we started up the community, we developed a brand, as you saw in the previous slide, a vision, a mission, and so set out some first goals, and we started to organize ourselves, because in March last year there was a European Commission's initiative to organize a conference in Belgium around quantum, because we are close to the European Commission and the European Parliament, of course, in our country. And there I had the opportunity for the first time to openly speak out what were our ambitions. And so we consider this a little bit of the go live moment of our community. Throughout the next, I would say, 3 to 4 months, we grew as a group. A lot of people from different backgrounds signed up. And so there was a need to structure our work in work groups. I come back to that because that's a very important one. And so we started to go out in the market with first presentations, seminars, webinars, and so on, because my say is always, if we don't talk to the market, if we are not visible, then then we are not doing a good job. We cannot just write papers for ourselves or just talk among ourselves. That will not help the country going forward in quantum. It's to do with information sharing, with interactivity, with collaboration, and that's quite simple and straightforward. What is more important, as mentioned before, is this one. We organized ourselves very quickly into 5 work groups. Each work group has 2 leads to make sure there's a backup, and the first 3 ones are very important. What do these groups do? They all go out in the market. This means that our business work groups, there is people in there from various industries that know a lot about end user touch points. And so they organize webinars and seminars and third party speaking opportunities towards business decision makers, the CIOs, the CEOs, the innovation and strategy managers of companies. So they bring high level pitches. It can be generic on, for example, quantum computing, or it can be on quantum computing applied to a certain industry with use cases mentioned and so forth. The second group is the technology work group. They do exactly the same thing, but more technology focused. For example, last week we organized a deep dive workshop online with more than 100 people around post quantum cryptography, very technically. And then the third one goes even deeper. This is a research work group. They have access through the different kinds of universities and research centers to all the paperwork worldwide that is available or publicly available, I must say, around quantum. And so if these three, 1, 2, and 3, they work together, this goes as follows. You go to a conference of, let's say, a transport and logistics industry consortium. You give a presentation about the possibilities of quantum for their sector, and you mention a couple of use cases. If there is an interest from transporters, then you bring them the technology work group and you say, hey, we have a couple of technology vendors, like in our case, an IBM, a Pascal, a Microsoft, a Fujitsu, that are part of our community, and they explain in what country which use case has already been developed or is under development. And then later on, the research work group comes in and they support all this. They stuff all this, I must say, with academical papers and proof of the pudding that has already been delivered. End result for the organizations, it can be private companies or public institutions that step into a collaboration with us. We shorten the route to discovery for them, and we lower the cost drastically from first exploration to first proof of concept. That's what we are doing right now. We have 2 other work groups, social work groups. They organize smaller roundtables and events around the future potential social impact of quantum in Belgium and in Europe. It's a very interesting and very hot topic in Europe, so we have to cover that. And then there's another smaller group, which we call the ecosystems group, also key to success, because the ecosystems group mainly reaches out to other existing communities. It can be business federations, it can be technology federations, it can be other ecosystems on quantum. For example, I myself am in contact with the quantum community in France, in Germany, in the UK, and in the Netherlands. And the thing is that all these communities, they create interesting research papers, interesting reports, interesting guideline topics. For example, in Holland, they made a fantastic book on how to implement quantum safe in your organization. By working with those other ecosystems, we can share and exchange practice and collateral, and we don't have to produce everything ourselves. I don't know in your country, but in Europe, uh, quantum is a quite open and open sourced focused ecosystem, meaning that people are always willing to share. So that's the work group's way of working. It's under construction. It starts to work very well, but as to be very honest, we only started up in March last year, these things need to mature. A couple of words about our members. The biggest chunk, I must say, of members today comes from the academic world. What is strange to understand is that when I reached out to them about 1 year ago, most of them were not so keen and interested in joining our community. And it's only in the last, I would say, 3 to 6 months that all universities in Belgium signed up to our community. A second group is the public sector. There is a lot of interest from the public sector in Belgium. It can be the federators of the government, it can be governments themselves, the different research institutes that are linked to the government. So that's good as well. The third group is the technology providers. Of course, there are many and many that are represented in Belgium, but we are a little bit hesitant. We don't let them all in because if you work as a community with technology providers, you it's a sort of a win-win relationship you have to establish, and you cannot build a relationship with everybody that is as strong. Same counts for example, consultancies. You can, of course, sign up the 4 or top 5 consultancies in the world, but you cannot give them space in your community. So there we are a bit hesitant as well. We work with some, but not with all. And then the last one that is the most difficult to build is the private sector. We have some companies from banking, from pharmaceuticals, from transport and logistics, from utilities. But what we see in every ecosystem in Europe, that this is the main group that is missing. So it means that there is still a lot of work to do to engage these potential professional end users of quantum for your community. How do we work? That's very simple. We have a website. We are transforming it right now into a sort of in the beginning, it was a sort of, I call it a vitrine or an entry place. But now it will become an interactive website. We will launch this month a newsletter. I can send you a copy of the newsletter. It will be on a monthly basis. We communicate a lot through LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a free thing to do and use, and it's very, very effective. If we organize an event and we only communicate to LinkedIn, we already get a lot of subscribers, and it doesn't cost us anything. So that's really a good tool to use. As said before, we organized the first summit in November. For this summit, we had 5 international speakers. 5 Belgian speakers. When I reached out to all of them, there was no one who said no, and everybody was really interested to come and speak in Brussels. We had about 250 guests. We had to refuse quite a lot. At the end, in the beginning, it was difficult to get them all together, but at the end, we had to refuse quite a lot. And the returns in terms of satisfaction were extremely high. We have never seen this in other events. I organized quite some events in the past, and I've never seen this myself. Just to give you an idea for somebody who knows something about marketing, we published a paper on the day of the event, and the day after there was about 80%, 79% who downloaded the paper and read through the paper. So that's huge. Normally you reach percentages of let's say 5 to 10 maximum. So what did we learn as a community in the past 12 months? It was a sort of a roller coaster startup here, to be very honest. Um, the first thing is that we need to educate our market further for certainly 2 to 3 years. I always say if you organize a webinar and there's 100 people that dial in, that's only 100 people. And in Belgium, you have maybe 2 to 3 million to convince. So there's still a lot and a lot of work to do in terms of education of the market. The positive thing is that our market reacts very positively. If you give somewhere a presentation, people always appreciate your insights on the topic. Um, What we also need to work on is the technology, what I call technology and knowledge transfer. We have a lot of, I would say, theoretical knowledge at our university. It's enormous what we have in terms of professors and PhDs. But what we miss really in this domain, also maybe in a couple of other domains, is the transfer of knowledge into new startups and new businesses. We see it in other countries, like, for example, Holland or the Netherlands, which is a small country comparable to Belgium. There are already much more startups coming from the universities, and that are, after, I must say, 4 or 5 years, becoming really very nice scale up. What we also learned is that Belgium has a lot of things in hand. We have a huge knowledge about cryptography. We are renowned for that. In nanotechnologies, we have a nanotech and chip research center in Belgium, which is called IMEC, and which houses about 3,500 top engineers from around the world. We are good in photonics and diamond research, with good basic components for making quantum computers. So there is a lot of things we already have in hand. In terms of industries, there is some industries in Belgium um, that are quite well represented that have a close link into quantum. As you all know, there are certain types of applications for which quantum computers are not the right thing to do, but there are domains like the chemical industry, the pharma industry, biotech, and energy, and so forth. And these are the ones where we have good representation uh, over here. So that's also a very good thing. And what we learned also is that yes, we will not be able to make a sort of a one plan with one focus and one thing to do like some other smaller countries do, because we are a federated state. But it's something you can overcome. We compare ourselves and the plan we need to write out with the plan that has been written recently for Switzerland. Other examples are Canada, for example, and some of the Nordic countries, where you also have countries with different provinces, they call them in some countries, like in Canada, or counties, like they call them in Switzerland. And it's the same thing. They are independent and they can decide independently on what they focus or not. So we can learn a lot from these countries, and that's what we do. And another thing we already have in hand is there is maybe not a lot of engineers specialized in quantum yet, but we have a lot of small companies, startup, scale-ups, and even some bigger ones that are specialized in data science and AI and security. And those we can, of course, if we can engage them to put a couple of percentages of their people in quantum, then we are sure that we can build out with all of this our own economy. So what I'm really am willing to share is what I learned, what I went through, what we went through with the group. But I must say, in the back end, it's mainly me managing the community together with about 10 volunteers. What works, what doesn't work, and it's the way we work. We have a plan, we have some sticks in the ground, we know what we want, but we are not afraid to go through iteration and to decide 1 month later, no, we will come back on this or that point, and we will not do it this way, we'll do it the other way, because we find that it's better. So we follow a little bit like the way water flows to the river, and I think in this case, in the state quantum is in, it's the best thing to do. And with that, I end my presentation, and I'm open for questions. Well, till very recently, we didn't, to be honest, have a clue on what this would bring and can bring this year. But very recently, the IYQ, they made an update on their website, and now you see, if you go to the website, that there's already a lot of initiatives, a lot of in-country initiatives that are posted on the website. And what the IYQ organization also asks, and we contribute to that, is that people, and it can be individuals, it can be universities, communities, ecosystems that organize events and conferences, that they also upload their conference material to the website. So I can imagine that in a couple of months already, it will be impossible almost to delve into the richness of content that will be uploaded from the different countries, and the possibilities that we will all have to follow conferences for free from around the world. So I'm convinced already now. 1 month ago, there was really nothing to see on this website. And today I am already 100% convinced that it will really accelerate the knowledge around quantum in the world.
Let the world see, let the light shine. Pakistan's quantum story divine. International Year of Quantum Unite.
Awesome. Hello everyone, my name is Robert from Kipo Quantum, and today I would like you to think about the last time you have talked to somebody about quantum computing that might have not been from the field or the industry. For me personally, this usually goes about the same way. It starts off really exciting. Oh, this is super interesting, but this is so complicated, I will never get it. And through this presentation, I would like you as innovators and the pioneers of the space to share what you have built even in those cases. And for that, I brought to you a short story. It can be summarized in a few icons. And by the end of this presentation, I hope you will know what they mean. And the story is about seeing, and it's about understanding, and it's about how that inspires you to build. And essentially, this is a story about my little sister. And for us, quantum computing at home is a family affair. It's a dinner table discussion, and it began with us trying to build a 3D model of a real quantum computer. And we had purchased some expensive printers, we had images and books, and talked about designs, and she saw that. So naturally, she had a favorite bedtime story, which is Quantum Mechanics for Babies. It's a book that explains quantum ideas very simply. It's about particles being in two places at once, or two states at once, about a spooky interaction at a distance, and that nobody really knows why that is the case. And one day, when a visitor came by and saw the book, oh, quantum is so complicated, she just shrugged it off and said, no, it's very simple. That's superposition and entanglement. In a sense, she understood and took it upon herself to build. And she took what she had. She has a few toy bricks. And she put the first one and stacked them. She added a glass panel. And another one. And another one. And some of you will know where this is going now. She added a backplate. A cryostat. And with that, she had built in just a few minutes and 49 toy bricks what we had been trying for weeks with a 3D model. And 3D modeling software and 3D printers. And that was because she had seen and she understood. And that inspired her to build. But now we had a real problem that she had done exactly what we wanted to do with the 3D model. And we, inspired by that, we wanted to extend and improve beyond just the Lego model, and wanted something that you can interact with. And that worked. I had to move my camera real quick. And we took an existing model, Andy's model, GitHub link down below, and we tried to make it as realistic and interactive as possible. So we added a few cutouts, just to give you a few ideas. We added lights, we added a Raspberry Pi, you could run quantum simulations on, you could interact with a Bloch sphere through the touch display. We added some acrylic glass, and aluminum foil to make it look metallic and really make it look like the real thing. And we packaged it really nicely, and that enabled some really cool moments later on. But I want you to remember that this was a story about building and sharing. And this was made possible because somebody else saw it and they touched it and they understood it, and that inspired them to build themselves. So this is the message I really want to get to you as colleagues, as friends, as representatives of the field. If you want to advance quantum computing and if you want to grow this field, wherever you are, talk about it and build and share what you build. And now the real question becomes, what will you build? Thank you. And with that, that's a wrap. Thanks for the opportunity to talk, and see you guys around. Bye-bye.
Let the world see, let the light shine. Pakistan's quantum story divine. International Year of Quantum Unite.
Hello, I'm Dr. Yasira Ismail from Stellenbosch University in South Africa. It is a pleasure to be part of the Pakistan opening ceremony of the International Year of Quantum Science and Technology. Thank you to Dr. Zuhair Ahmed and the organizing committee for this opportunity. So last week on the 4th and 5th of February was the official opening of the International Year of Quantum Science and Technology, which took place at the UNESCO headquarters in Paris. And I had the pleasure of being an invited speaker at the event, and I was part of the panel on quantum engagement and education in quantum science and technology. The panel focused on how to encourage inclusivity in education and ensuring that all countries are able to participate in the agenda of the International Year of Quantum Science and Technology. Furthermore, the panel promoted quantum science in a manner that is relatable to all citizens globally. This was quite an amazing initiative, and from all the panels that did take place at the International Year of Quantum, one of the focus was inclusivity, not leaving any country behind in this global race to develop quantum technology and to promote quantum science. So, as we all are aware, this year is the International Year of Quantum Science and Technology. It marks the milestones of 100 years of quantum mechanics, and the aim is to promote and raise awareness to the public for the importance and the impact of quantum science and applications of all aspects of life. And if we look at where quantum can play a role, quantum technology can play a role in various sectors, from health and well-being to clean energy in the industry and infrastructure, to even to climate actions. And we'll touch a bit further on this later on, but we keep this in mind that quantum technology plays a vital role in all aspects of life. So if we look at the developments in quantum mechanics that has led us to the celebration of the International Year of Quantum Science and Quantum Technology in this year 2025, there has been discoveries since 1900. However, the discovery that are made by Werner Heisenberg and Erwin Schrödinger basically set the playing field for the development of technology today. So the dynamics of the Schrödinger equation and the matrix formation of quantum particles set the development of technology today. And if we look at the two revolutions or quantum revolutions that we have gone through, the first quantum revolution was where we used the theories that was developed in quantum mechanics to develop technology that we cannot do without today, and that's the lasers, diodes, and transistors. I mean, if you think of a laser, this is not only technology used in our research labs, but it's used every day in barcode scanners when you visit the supermarket or the departmental store. So this technology is formed part of the first industrial revolution, but they have led to the development of the second quantum revolution as well. And if we look at the second quantum revolution, the technologies are technologies that we all know of, quantum communication or quantum key distribution, quantum computing, as well as quantum metrology or sensing. So in terms of quantum sensing, this is specifically data collections that are more precise by precise measurements. In terms of quantum communication, this is based on the safe transfer of data. And if you look at quantum computing, it's ultra-fast data processing, and these are very much for specific cases. So I know the focus is specifically on quantum computing here. However, I have to basically go through some of the applications of these different pillars of modern society. So quantum computing is gaining a lot of traction right now, and a quantum computer, eventually a fault-tolerant quantum computer, will have a lot of applications in drug delivery, looking at both network and traffic optimization, and the development of better materials for batteries. So looking at battery material simulation. If we look at quantum communication, we know it's your secure transmission. So the secure transmission could be secure communication between connected vehicles, securing critical infrastructure, as well as long-term protection of sensitive data like medical data. In terms of quantum metrology, this is a development of more precise sensors. So we're looking at clocks for synchronization, clocks for trade and time stamping, and then of course the most expected application, which is GPS-aided navigation. So together these three applications form part of the pillars of modern society. And if we look at the qubit technology that is being developed, we see many of the key players and key stakeholders that are playing a role in the development of quantum qubit technology. And there are various technologies from superconducting qubits to spin qubits, trapped ions, topological charges, neutral atoms to photonic qubits. And each of this different qubit technology comes with its own challenges as well as its own advantages. I won't focus too much on the advantages and challenges of developing these qubit technologies. However, I'd like to spend a little bit to just look at the timeline of the development of these technologies. So the first experimental quantum computer was a 2-qubit quantum computer that was developed back in 1998. Since then, in 2001, there was the demonstration of Shor's algorithm. In 2015, the demonstration of quantum error correction, which is very vital to the development of a fault-tolerant universal quantum computer. In 2019, for a very specific case, Google showed quantum supremacy. And then, of course, the breakthrough that is really going to develop this field or advance this field further is the demonstration of logical qubits that took place last year. And this is very important because up until last year, we were only working with or using physical qubits, but these qubits are noisy. They do not have error corrections. However, logical qubits are error corrected, but you need a lot of physical qubits to undergo error corrections to get to logical qubits. But with logical qubits, you can implement algorithms that was not possible with noisy physical qubits. So this is quite an important breakthrough as well. And this was implemented by Quantinuum and Microsoft. So just to touch on 2 applications in the automobile, just to show where some of these very specific cases were where quantum computers were used. In the case of this D-Wave quantum computer, it was used to look at an optimization problem. We said that quantum computers work well for optimization. We mentioned network optimization as well as traffic optimization. This would be a traffic optimization problem. In this case, Volkswagen partnered with D-Wave to look at traffic in Beijing. And we know that traffic in Beijing is a problem. And here they used 10,000 data sets to successfully reduce traffic flow by choosing ideal paths for each vehicle. And this was back in 2017. Another application worth mentioning is Daimler has now partnered with IBM to look at how quantum computing technology can be used to develop the next generation of lithium-sulfur batteries. So if you follow the development of batteries, we know that lithium batteries have reached their limit. However, there is this progression towards development of electric vehicles, and so we have to focus on design optimization to develop better batteries. And so what Daimler worked with IBM, they looked at using quantum computers to model dipole moments of 3 lithium-containing molecules, and with the expectation to produce the next generation of this lithium-sulfur batteries, which are expected to be more powerful, last longer, and cheaper than the widely used lithium-ion batteries. So those are just 2 examples in the automobile industry, but I mentioned that quantum technology and quantum computing will play a vital role in many of the different sectors, from health and well-being to clean energy. So if we look at quantum photonics currently, it's already advancing quantum imaging and diagnostics. Quantum chemistry is expected to support the development of new vaccines. If we look at industry and infrastructure, quantum science is essential to developing new materials. We just mentioned the lithium-sulfur battery that drives technological innovation. And also, if we look at climate change, quantum physics will inform the next generation of sensors. We're looking at quantum methodology for environmental monitoring. And the expectation is that quantum computers will improve the accuracy of long-term climate model. So there is a lot of development in terms of using quantum technology to try and solve everyday problems. And I think we still have a long way to go where we can see these applications really implemented, specifically when we look at quantum computing. Maybe not so much when we look at quantum sensors, which are currently being used for environmental sensing, for example, in mines. However, there is this flourishment of technology that is available currently, and then there's a lot of growth that's going to occur in this field. So entering into the development of quantum technology or entering into the field of quantum science, at this moment, you are primed to actually work on technology that can really make a difference to society and drive change. And so with that, I would like to say thank you. And thank you again for this opportunity to be part of your International Year of Quantum Science and Technology opening ceremony. I hope that I have inspired you to look into how you can use quantum computers to look at applications that will assist in our daily lives and citizens going forward.
Let the world see, let the light shine. Pakistan's quantum story divine. International Year of... Let the world see.